What's happening, guys? My name is Austin, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the DevvE Download. You ever wonder what happens when the unstoppable force of blockchain meets the immovable object of privacy laws? Well, today we're diving into one of the most fascinating tech dilemmas of our time, how the EU's GDPR and public blockchains don't always play nicely together, and how the DevvE ecosystem has solved this problem to bring the world of small, actionable data directly on-chain for the first time. So let's start with, what exactly is GDPR? It's the General Data Protection Regulation. It's the EU's gold standard for how personal data should be handled. Now, the goal is to protect the privacy and rights of individuals, making sure their data isn't just floating around out there without their knowledge and consent. Now, here's where this gets a little bit tricky. Public blockchains are like open ledgers. Every transaction is recorded across potentially thousands of computers worldwide. But GDPR has some pretty specific rules that don't exactly fit in with how blockchains work, so let me break that down for you just a little bit. First up, the right to be forgotten. GDPR says that you can ask to have your personal data deleted, but blockchains are immutable, meaning you can't just go back and erase something once it's recorded, and that's a serious conflict. Next up is data minimization. GDPR insists that you only collect the bare minimum of personal data. But in a blockchain, that data gets replicated across so many nodes. Instead of minimizing, you actually might be multiplying. How about access and control? GDPR gives you the right to access, correct, and control your data. But with a decentralized blockchain, who's in charge of making those corrections? It's like trying to edit a Google Doc when everyone's already got a copy. But wait, there's even more than that. GDPR also has rules about how data should be anonymized, who's responsible for that data, and where that data can be sent. You see, GDPR loves anonymity, but the blockchain oftentimes relies on pseudonymity, which means your data might be hidden behind a code, but not completely untraceable. Combine that with any other data, and suddenly you're not anonymous anymore. GDPR demands clearly defined roles. Who's the controller and who's the processor? But in a public blockchain, there's no central authority to be held accountable. It's decentralized by its very nature, making it hard to pin down who's responsible for compliance. And what about data transfers? GDPR says you have to ensure that data is protected, even when it crosses borders. But blockchains are global, with nodes all over the world, and in some of those places, they don't really have great data protection laws. Finally, there's consent. GDPR says people have to give clear and informed consent for their data to be used. But once that data is on the blockchain, it's there for good. Trying to manage or withdraw consent after the fact is nearly impossible. So with all of these challenges, how can blockchain possibly comply? Well, with DevvE, this becomes a match made in heaven. The key is focusing on what's important, public verification, not necessarily who adds the blocks. Solutions like DevvE's customized solutions that use a simple API integration can offer more flexibility and meet all kinds of requirements. This makes it simple to manage data in line with GDPR. Shards give you the transparency and security of blockchain, but with the added bonus of permissions over who sees what and how that data is handled. Because let's face it, privacy is important. In the end, the tech world is all about finding the right balance. Blockchain offers incredible potential for transparency and security. But when it comes to its ability to access small, actionable data, which is arguably the most valuable data on the planet, especially for things like AI, GDPR is the law of the land. DevvE, through the combination of its sharding architecture and ease of integration with all types of pre-existing data, has found the secret sauce for Web3 innovation while keeping privacy at the forefront. DevvE technology is a major leap forward and will allow blockchain technology to work in those walled gardens that were previously off limits. This unlocks massive potentials in industries like AI, medical, and a ton of other verticals. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into how DevvE is reimagining what's possible in the Web3 space. Take care.